Good morning, dear friends. It is Saturday morning, and boy, do I have a lot to tell you. It's been a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting couple days. Yeah, but we'll talk about that after we make this bread because I want to get this started. So let's do that first. Okay, I have my bowl on the scale here, and the first thing I need is 60 grams of fed starter. Now, if you are not aware, it's a quarter cup, but I'm aware, so that's what I prefer. Close enough. And then we need 350 grams of filtered water. The recipe says about 100 degrees. Honestly, I just do it right out of my water filter on the stove, on the sink. So it's more like a room temperature for me. I should probably check it. Eventful. That was the word I was looking for. It's been an eventful couple of days. Is that? I don't think I said eventful. Okay, there's our 350 grams of filtered water. And now we are just going to whisk this up until it dissolves. If you make bread or any baked goods, invest in one of these. It's called a Danish dough whisk. It is wonderful. And they are not expensive. I got a 2-pack on Amazon a couple of years ago. I think they were like $8 or $9. I do have them linked in my Amazon store. Okay. The next thing we need is some all-purpose flour. I was surprised that this recipe didn't call for bread flour or just all-purpose, so I'm all about that. Okay, we zeroed out our scale, and we're going to do 500 grams. Which is about 4 1/4 cups. So close. There we go. And then we are going to do 9 grams of real salt. And we are just going to mix all this together. Now I noticed that once I get it mixed to about this point, it's just easier to go in with my hands and mix it the rest of the way. And you just want to mix it until all the flour is absorbed. You don't necessarily have to knead it, just kind of get all that flour in there. And that's it. How easy is this so far? So then we are just going to put a little bit of flour on my hands because it's a little sticky. We are just going to cover the bowl with a damp cloth, and we're just going to let it rest for 45 minutes. That's it. So we can just put this aside, forget about it, and let it rest for 45 minutes. I'm going to get a second loaf started, but we'll be back to check this out. Actually, I'll be back to chat with you about our eventful days. Okay, let's chat. So Thursday, Thursday. Andrew went to work, Doug went to work, I went to work, well, you know, babysat. And if you saw my Facebook post, on my group, I baked all day. Bo and I had a baking extravaganza day. I was playing with my new mill and milling flour, and we were baking all the things. And, you know, he left, and Doug came home, got him dinner. He went to school. Andrew was staying after school. He had to work the basketball games. I think I've mentioned this before, that at every sporting event, there has to be a staff member other than the coach there as kind of the site manager to take care of any problems, whatever. So Andrew was working 2 basketball games. So he called me around about 8:15 and said, I'm finally leaving now. I said, okay. He said, I heard there's a really bad accident on 295. He said, so I may be stuck in traffic. I may go the other way. I don't know. So, okay, be careful. Love you, be careful. About an hour later, I get a phone call. Mom, I was in an accident. You know, of course, my heart sinks. My blood pressure goes up. My first question, oh my God, are you okay? He's like, I'm fine. I said, what happened? And he said, long story short right now, he said, a tractor trailer hit me. I'm like, okay, but you're okay? He said, yes. I said, what about the man or the woman, the person in the tractor trailer? He said, yes, they're fine. They got out right away and came over to me, make sure I was okay. I said, okay, call the police. Now, where he got into the accident was where the accident was that he told me about, and it was a very bad accident. 3 people were injured. 1 passed away from their injuries. 2 have very serious injuries. There was a fire. They shut down both sides of the highway. There was 1 lane on northbound and southbound getting through. It was really bad. There were helicopters. It was bad. So needless to say, it was taking a long time to clean it up and all that. So another accident occurred, like not a bad one, in the same area, around the same area. And then Andrew's accident occurred. 3 accidents in the same area within a span time of like 2 hours. So I said, call the police. I said, it's the state police on the highway. I said, it's probably going to take a while for them to get there. I'll call Daddy and then we'll come to you. Tell me exactly where you're at. So I called Doug. He was on his way home from school. Told him what was going on. And, he was stopping at my sister's to drop off all the bread I made for her. Because I made vegan bread for her. He's like, do you want me to just come right home? I'm like, no, my sister's is on your way home. Stop and do it. Come home. We'll go get Andrew. Or we'll go to the scene. So, I was back and forth, and I called Doug. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the scene. I'll go. Just stay put, whatever. So when I was driving there, Andrew called me back, and he said, Mom, I'm going to the hospital. I said, I thought you were okay. He said, I am okay. He said, but all of a sudden, he said, I got a really bad headache in the back of my head and my neck. He said, I don't know if I hit my head on anything. No airbags deployed. He said, but it hurts. I said, okay, that's good. I'm glad you're getting checked. I said, do you want me to come to the scene, to ride in the ambulance with you? Like, what do you want? He said, no, just meet me at the hospital. I said, okay. So with that, I turned around and came home to meet Doug here so we could go to the hospital together. So we get to the hospital and, you know, we actually got there before he did. And they, you know, we checked in and they said, okay, he'll be in triage. They'll call you back. So we waited. I mean, the emergency room was empty. Nobody was in there. But I guess by the time they triage him and everything, they brought us back. And luckily he was okay. They think the headache was probably stress, adrenaline, nerves, all that. And it just like took a few minutes, took probably a good half hour to hit. But I'm glad he got checked anyway. You know, because you worry about concussions and stuff. And, you know, they're like, you're going to be really sore the next day and all. And he wasn't. He is still not sore. So that is a good thing. You know, we asked him, we're like, what exactly happened? Because at this point, we still didn't know what happened. So he said he was driving in the right-hand lane. Traffic was very slow because of everything going on. And all of a sudden, this truck came up next to him and started to come over into his lane. Andrew said there was nowhere for him to go. He started beeping the horn because he saw the truck coming over, and the truck just kept coming and like just right over, like not a great merge or anything, just came right over. And Andrew tried to get out of the way, and the truck just right into him. So luckily they were all going slow because of everything going on, and you know, it wasn't a high speed crash or anything. So it was an eventful night. We got home from the ER probably around midnight, I guess. So it wasn't really bad. As soon as we got home, we had to call the state police because we had no idea what they did with Andrew's car. And we asked Andrew, we're like, is your car drivable? He's like, oh no. He said the whole wheel well is smashed in and the wheel's kind of crooked. So right away in my head, I'm like, oh, they're going to total it. It's a 2012 Nissan Sentra. You know, we bought it used. So I'm like, they're going to total that car. But whatever. So we called the state police. They told us where the car was. And then Andrew got all the other guys' information and everything. So the next day, Friday, Doug called the trucking company. And, you know, they were aware of the situation, of course. They gave Doug their insurance company's number. So Doug called their insurance company, and we're just getting things moving. My guess is we have until the 7th to get it out of storage, the car. Or I guess declare it totaled and the storage place will scrap it. I'm not sure. But I know we have till the 7th to do that. So we have till Wednesday before we have to start paying. So we have to move along a little bit quickly. But of course it's a weekend, so it's hard. My guess is they're going to total it. That's my guess. So we need to look for a new car. We were going to request that the insurance company, their insurance company, pay for a rental. Andrew's only 24 years old, can't get a rental. Unless there's some loophole, we're not sure yet. We have to look into that. Or ask their insurance company, well, fine, then my kid will drive my car, get me a rental. Now, if none of that works out, it's okay. We are blessed in the fact that Doug works 2 miles down the road. And I work from home. So Andrew can take Doug's car. And worst comes to worst, the babies I watch, the mom works with Andrew. Like Friday, she took him to work. They carpooled together. Now, Andrew usually stays after school where she does not, because Andrew has his other job at the church and everything, but we can make it work. But more than likely, he will drive Doug's car right now until we figure it all out. And Doug will either take my van to work and leave me with no car, which is generally fine, or I will drive him to work in the morning and then just go pick him up. So it'll be fine. It'll all work out. And honestly, the most important thing is no one was hurt. That is the most important thing. Is it a little bit of an inconvenience? Absolutely. Are we so incredibly blessed that no one was hurt? Absolutely. Get emotional. Shocking, right? Shocking. So what are we talking about? Yeah, so now it's just kind of a waiting game. And it's so funny because we're like, oh yeah, this is no problem. Oh my gosh, Monday's a hot mess. So Andrew has religious ed after school, so he has to be there. He can't come like right home like with Elena. And he has a meeting. So I'm like, okay. And Doug's like, yeah, no problem. I'll just take your van. I'm like, well, you can't take my van. I said, I'll drop you at work, but I have a 4:00 dentist appointment. So I need my van. He's like, I have a 12:30 blood draw. I'm like, oh, yes. Because next week's chemo week. And on chemo weeks, Doug has to have a blood draw on Mondays before his chemo to make sure all his levels are okay. I'm like, okay, we'll figure this out. So I was like in my head trying to plan. So I'm like, okay, we got this. You take my van to work. You go to your blood draw. Oh, he's like, it's no big deal. He goes, and then I'll just bring the van home after my blood draw. I'm like, yeah, but I can't take you back to work. I have babies here and they'll be sleeping. I mean, I have car seats and all, but they'll be sleeping. He's like, yeah, you're right. So I'm like, I got this. You take the van to work. You go to your blood draw. You go back to work. And then actually my dentist appointment's at 4:30. I have to leave at 4:00. I said at 4:00, just run home, grab me. I'll drive you back to work. And then I'll go to the dentist. I said, or just come home at 4:00 and finish out your day at home. Finish out your last, 45 minutes working from home. So I think we have a plan. You know what? It's fine. It's a minor inconvenience. It could have been so much worse. It's a minor inconvenience. We are blessed that we have an extra, that we have 2 cars now and not just one. And there's just so many positives to look at. That it's all good. I just hope things work out quickly with the insurance company. And I just hope Andrew can find a car. Because, his car was older and all, but it ran great, worked great, and is paid for. So, but now, no matter what the insurance company gives him, he's not going to be able to find a car for that. So he's going to either have to take it out of his savings or maybe finance a little bit, which I don't think would be a bad thing. He has very good credit for a kid. Andrew's a saver. Andrew probably has more money saved in various investments and things than a lot of adults do because he's been saving forever. When he showed me his portfolio the other day, I almost fell off my chair. Now, does he want to pull money out of certain investments to buy a car? No, but he has regular savings that he could tap into if he wanted. But I told him, I said, why don't you just put down a nice down payment and then finance a little bit because that will just help build your credit more. We got back when our kids started college, we got them each a credit card in their name, but it was on our credit, but that still helps them build credit. And then when Andrew got a job, he applied for a credit card, got a credit card, and is so good. I mean, he is, he uses it every month, pays it off in full every month. When Adam got his internship last summer, he also got a credit card and does the same thing, pays it off every single month. And let me tell you, their credit score for a 22 and a 24-year-old is phenomenal. So I don't think he'll have trouble getting a car loan, but he doesn't want a huge car payment or anything. He wants to put a good down payment down on it. But I said that it's just another good way to build your credit. It's another creditor. It's a different level of credit. So it's all good. You know, you have to look at all the positives in this. I just hope he can find one because, you know, used cars are tough to come by since COVID. So, and he kind of knows what he wants, but he'll be flexible. So yeah. So it's kind of fun. Like, I mean, I'm not thrilled about the accident or anything, don't get me wrong, but it's nice seeing this next chapter for him. Like, wow, like buying your first car. Cause I mean, we bought his other car for him. So it's kind of nice, you know, just seeing that he's an adult, you know, kind of thing. But anyway, that's way too long, and I talked way too long about all this, but I just wanted to update you about what else is going on in our lives. So, but it is early Saturday morning, and Doug is at Bible study, and then he's going to go to daily mass, and then come home. We'll have breakfast. I have to make stuffing today because we're having Doug's mom and brother over tomorrow for dinner. And I'm making roast chicken and, you know, our home raised ones. I have a good size one, and then I have little junior. Remember that when we did the processing? Just because I just want to make sure we have enough. And because there'll be like 6 of us, I think. And I want leftovers because it's chemo week and all, so I can make chicken salad and all. But, so I'm going to make stuffing, mashed potatoes, and probably Jersey corn from the freezer. And some dinner rolls probably tomorrow. But I like to get my stuffing done the day before because I like those flavors to just kind of meld together. So I need to make that today. What else? I really wanted to get some granola made. I'm just not sure if that's going to happen. We adopted 2 chickens. I think I told you that. I'm not sure. A friend is moving and downsizing our flock and all this. So we adopted 2. They'll be black chickens, like the ones we have. They're Marins. So they're coming today. So I want to get the quarantine coop ready. It's pretty much ready. I just want to spruce it up a little bit with a little bit more pine shavings. And I still need to clean out the run in the big girls because it rained again before I had a chance to get out there. So that's all on the agenda for today. Anne came in last night. We played Pinochle last night. It was Mary and I. We won 3 games out of 4. It was nice after getting spanked last weekend. So Doug got spanked again this weekend. Oh, well. Mary and Joey made penne alla vodka for dinner. It was delicious. I made an apple pound cake. It was okay. It was good, but it was dense. I think I would do it differently next time. I don't know. What else? Anne and Andrew are going down the shore this afternoon today, and then they have dinner reservations. It's Anne's Christmas present from Andrew. He's taking her to Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, down the shore. And we are going to 5 o'clock mass because Doug has to sing solo. And then we are going on our monthly double date with our besties tonight. So I'm excited. We have a gift card to use, so might as well use it. Not breaking pantry challenge. And it was actually no eat out January. Maybe we'll extend it to February. I don't know, but we're going out with them tonight after church. So enough talking. Oh my gosh. I should go back and like re-record this and try to make it shorter, but I'll make the rest of the video shorter, I promise. Okay, it's been sitting for about 45 minutes or so. So we are just gonna take it out of the bowl, put it on a lightly floured surface, and then we're gonna do our stretch and folds. Oop, I'm not even in the frame. So we're just gonna pull it up. Fold it over onto itself. Give it a quarter turn. Do the same thing. Pull it up. Fold it over. Quarter turn. Try to do it with the other hand so you can see. Pull it up. Fold it over. Quarter turn. Same thing. And then I just kind of do it a little bit more to make it tight, tuck the ends. This is sticky, this one. It's funny, different hydrations, different weather can affect it. This is a sticky one. So I'm just gonna kind of pull it towards me a little bit and form it into a nice tight ball. And then put it right back in the bowl, cover it again with our wet towel, and then we're just gonna let it ferment for 10 hours in a warm place. Ideal temperature between 72 and 80. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna put it. I might put it, a good place to put it is in the oven, not with the oven on, but just with the light on and the door closed. So that is it. There's one. And I did do a second loaf. So I will just stretch and fold this one too. I didn't mix this one on camera because, you know, mixing is mixing. And just fold it back on itself. Give it a turn. This just helps to activate the gluten and all that good stuff. I'm no scientist. I just like bread. And then I'm just gonna tighten it up by pulling it towards me and sliding it on the counter. So you have a nice little ball. A nice tight little ball. And there we have it. So they're just going to go, like I said, in the oven for a 10-hour ferment. And we'll see what happens in 10 hours. Okay, time to start on the stuffing. I have a whole video on my mom's stuffing. It is not health friendly. It is not weight friendly. But it is my mama's stuffing, and it is, in my opinion, the best around. So I'm going to get started on that now. I'll link that video for you. Oh, look at, aren't these beautiful? Look at those beautiful flowers. I think they are so gorgeous. A neighbor, she's not a neighbor. She lives in town, but she's not close. Brought those over to us. And also she brought mini cupcakes from the Amish bakery. I didn't have any. They said they were good. I gave the baby one. I gave Bo one on Friday since she brought them over. And Andrew had one. And then I took them last night to Pinnacle along with the cake. And they had some there. So sweet. Just so sweet. So I'm enjoying looking at my flowers, and yeah, just a nice little gesture. And let me tell you, I've learned I need to step up my nice little gesture game. I thought I was doing good. Maybe I'm not. So anyway, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I think I'm going to start on the stuffing and then get out there and work on that run. Can you tell I'm procrastinating? What time is it? It is 8:40. So I'm doing good. Oh, let me show you. I also took some time the other day and cleaned out this pantry closet. So the top, I don't know if you can see, there's boxes and that has certain teas in it. Then we have the Ninja and all the accessories right there because it's the only place it fits. And then just kind of straightened up this shelf. This is mostly baking stuff. And then this is the one that really needed it. This is kind of our snack drawer and other baking stuff. I got these at Aldi, these stackable things. I thought they were great. I have nuts, dried fruit that I use for granola, a couple Lara bars. I need to replenish those. I have a couple boxes down the basement. Nuts and Doug's ginger candies in case he is not feeling well. And then on the bottom, there's just some These are Bose things that I keep here for him. Fruit cup and some applesauce and some crackers. And then I have like other stuff in my jars. Soft white wheat berries, hard white wheat berries, pretzels, semi-sweet chocolate chips, popcorn, sourdough crackers, mini chocolate chips, all our nuts, and of course some Jimmies. So I feel like that's nice and organized now. And then I think I'm going to take Bo's stuff out of there and put it, I need this, because when he comes on Monday, he brings his lunches and breakfast for the week. And if it's anything that doesn't have to be refrigerated, I put it in here. So it's all together. And I also have, there's my dog treats, my cat treats, breadcrumbs, oats, Doug's cereals down there, vinegars and oils, coconut oil, granola, palm fruit shortening for greasing pans, and avocado oil and stuff like that. And then the bottom is coffee and tea. Oops. And that lid is off. So there's all the coffee and tea that we use. So I think it looks pretty good. We'll see how organization goes. I'm hoping today to get to this cabinet. This cabinet definitely needs a little help. Our ranch powder's empty. I need to make more of that this week, or for this week. And just kind of straighten up in here. See what I don't use on a weekly basis that maybe I can store down in the downstairs pantry. I'm seeing stuff right now that I can do that with. Just try to clean this out a little bit. Straighten up my spices. Wipe out the cabinet. Refill anything that needs to be refilled. So we will see if we can get to that this afternoon. Okay, this guy is home from Bible study and Mass. What?
No, I said yes I am.
Oh, yes you are. And we are getting breakfast started. It is 10 o'clock. He's going to make some bacon. And I'm too lazy to stop the camera, so we'll just do this. The meat mixture for the stuffing going, it is a pound of pork sausage, a pound of bacon, 3 cups of chopped celery, and I forget how much onion. And I'm just going to let that cook low and slow until it is all cooked and delicious and yummy. But for right now, breakfast comes first, and then I got to get out there and work on that chicken run. Finally sitting down to have breakfast, but I decided I didn't want breakfast, I wanted brunch. So I have a slice of sourdough bread. I cut it a little too thick, but whatever. I cut it in half, and I have on there bacon, lettuce, tomato, a slice of cheese, and some mayonnaise, because that's what I was in the mood for. I made the kids sourdough French toast, and oh, Doug is done. What did you have for breakfast?
A bacon and cheese and pepper omelet.
And sourdough toast.
A sourdough toast.
And bacon.
And coffee.
And coffee. So this is what I'm going to eat, and it looks delicious. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go.
Well, it's a beautiful day at Rising Sign Farms, whatever we want to call it. Homestead, whatever we want to call ourselves. And Joni has the beautiful, lovely job of cleaning out the coop because I'm not allowed to. I'm sure I could probably help, but she won't let me. But yeah, we're cleaning up all the corn cobs and bones and whatever else is in here from all the stuff that we give the chickens. And in the meantime, they are roaming free in the grass.
And what are we preparing for?
And the garden. Oh, and we're also going to... well, I'm out of focus here. There he goes. We're moving this coop, the little coop, over next to the big coop because we're adopting some new chickies. Well, not chickies, new hens.
Oh, this is bad lighting. Very bad lighting. So this is Queenie. And up here is Eggmelia with the beard. They are Marins, from what Lee told me, and they are the newest members of our flock. Hi, Queenie. So we will see how they make out. We have them right next to the other girls so they can get used to each other and become friends. Hopefully, we will see. Okay, we are cleaned up and we are off to church. This guy's singing solo tonight. He is the cantor. I am an usher. I might end up reading if they didn't find anybody. I don't know, because we only had one person signed up. If they need me, I will be happy to do it. And then after that, we are going with the besties on our double date night. We received a very nice gift card for Christmas from Doug's brother, so that is what we are using. So I'm excited about that. Then we're gonna come home and I have bread to shape and cook. And what else? Anything else? It's gonna be later, not super late, but I've got to get the bread done tonight. Yeah, and then tomorrow morning we're back out again at the breakfast. So I will definitely try to show you my dinner and all that good stuff. Maybe I'll even try to get him on video while he's singing. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on where I'm at. If I just have to usher, I might just stand in the back of church and not sit down, because it's just me. Andrew and Ann are going in the morning, and we'll be back at the piano. So, all by myself. The new girls seem to be settling in well. The one, oh my gosh, she is so noisy. The one's name is Eggmelia and the other is Queenie. Eggmelia is so noisy. Oh my goodness. So I guess just getting used to their surroundings and stuff. So anyway, see you in a little bit. Well, we are home from church and dinner. Never picked up the camera. Had such a good time. It was 100% what I needed. Just time with the besties. And it was wonderful. Good meal. Ate about half. Brought the rest home. I had like a pasta seafood dish. Okay, so what I did is I took them out of the bowls that I had them fermenting in, and I did another stretch and fold. You saw me do that the first time. Did the same thing, and then I just kind of shaped it, pulled it towards me on the counter, did this little thing like I did before, just to make it a nice ball. Let me tell you, this one is bubbly. There are air bubbles all over it. So now I'm just going to let them rest for 15 minutes. And then I have my Banneton bowls. You do not need a Banneton bowl. I got these like dirt cheap from one of those, what's it called? Those bins type stores. They were $1. They were brand new in the package. So anyway, I have rice flour in my Bannetons. I have two. One's bigger than the other. I wish they were the same size. I actually like the small one a little bit better. But I have generously coated this with rice flour. And then once these are done resting for 15 minutes, we are just going to put them in the Banneton with the pretty side down, seam side up. And we're going to let them rise for 45 minutes to an hour. Then we're going to bake them. It's going to be a little bit of a late night for me, my friends, but we'll be back after 15 minutes and we'll get them in that Banneton. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. It's been resting, so I am just going to give it just one more little pull. And then I'm going to take it and seam side up in the Banneton. Put it aside and do this one. Now, this recipe does not make 2 loaves. I doubled it. I actually did 2 separate loaves because I didn't want to double it. But I'm just creating a little bit more tension, a little bit more shaping. And popping that right in, like I said, seam side down. This one's not as pretty. I didn't do it as nicely. It'll be fine. Nobody sees that part, right? Okay, we're gonna let this rise for about an hour, and then we're gonna bake it. So if you notice, I have different clothes on. This is actually making the same kind of bread, but it is the day before or the morning of the day before or something, because I had some footage that got corrupted. But I'm doing the same thing here. So what I did is I just flipped the dough out of the banneton bowls onto a piece of parchment, and then I took a razor blade or a bread lame and scored it. And you always want to score your bread to let some heat and some air escape so it doesn't kind of blow up on you. And then I'm just picking it up by the parchment paper and setting it in my Dutch oven. I like to sprinkle the bottom of my Dutch oven with a little bit of cornmeal. It helps the bottom of the bread not get so dark. And I also like to put them on a metal cookie sheet because that also helps the bottom not get so dark. So I just flip them out. I move the flour around a little bit and then get my bread lame and just make some cuts in it. So you can make cuts anywhere you want. This way I just kind of decided to do like a little star cross pattern, and I'm not fancy, I'm not artistic, but boy, some of the sour bread loaves out there are absolute works of art. They are truly gorgeous, but not mine. I don't know, maybe someday I'll get better at it. I'm just gonna score it a little bit and once again put it right into the Dutch oven with the parchment paper. And then I bake it at 450 with the lid on for 30 minutes. Take the lid off and bake it another 20 minutes. And then it is all done. If you hear any heavy breathing during this voiceover, the baby is sleeping on my chest as I am voicing this over, and I'm not quite sure if the microphone is picking up his stuffy little nose. Good morning, friends. Terrible vlogger here. Never finished showing you the bread because, well, I ended up not feeling good last night. This happens a lot when we go out to eat. I just think it's because I'm not used to, I cook everything from scratch. We're really careful about what we eat. But we do go out. We're not perfect. We like going out to dinner. And sometimes, most of the time, I'm usually fine for breakfast, but most of the time just doesn't agree with me. It kind of, without being, I don't know, TMI, it goes right through me. So I don't vomit. So I was up all night last night. So here is the loaf of sourdough. I guess it has a decent color on it. It's hard to tell with the rice flour, but I don't know. I just thought it would be a little bit darker here. I didn't do a fantastic job scoring this one. The other one was prettier. But now this one is just the sourdough recipe as written. Then I was messing around and experimenting, and I added a little bit of yeast to the sourdough dough, and holy mackerel, look at the size of that. But I made 2 of these also, and we used it for French toast yesterday morning for Andrew and Ann, and I had my sandwich on it, and Doug had it as toast. It's definitely the consistency of a yeast bread, like the crumb. It's not, like you don't get those big air pockets like you do with sourdough. Although I don't know what this looks like cut into, so we'll have to wait and see when we cut into it. Actually, I won't be cutting into this. I'll be giving it to my sister-in-law. So after she cuts into it, I'll have her send me a picture of the crumb. But anyway, so it's a great recipe. It really is. Now, I have people coming. Let me turn you around. Doug and Andrew left at the crack of dawn this morning to go to the breakfast at church. They're cooking. Ann and I were supposed to leave at 9. Her and Andrew were going to go to 9:30 Mass and then come back and have breakfast after. But needless to say, I didn't go. I missed a whole piece of hair here in my ponytail. I just noticed that. Needless to say, I didn't go. So she just left, and I'm still having my in-laws for dinner tonight. I don't know if I'll be eating, but so I'm working on dessert. I'm just making a vanilla custard. That's it. Something simple, something easy, something kind of light. So I'm working on that now, and I started it and thought, oh my gosh, the camera. So I'll show you what I've done so far, and yeah, well, yeah, I know, hot mess. Okay, for the custard, first thing we're gonna do is scald 3 cups of milk. Now, they call for whole milk. I have 1%, so that's what I'm using. And what scalding is, you want to bring it to about 180, 185. You want to bring it right before the boiling point. So that is what we are working on right now. And while that's coming up, let's show you. In this bowl, I have 4 eggs, slightly beaten. And then I added 1/3 cup of sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and just mixed all that together. And then I took a little bit of that egg mixture out and put it in a different bowl so I could temper it so the eggs don't cook when we add the milk. And I have 6 little custard cups, little ramekins here for the final product for the custard. There'll be 6 individual servings. So as soon as that milk gets done, we'll get started. Okay, our milk is ready. So I am just going to just put a little bit of the egg mixture in while whisking. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this mixture and put it back into the eggs. I'm just going to dip this right in. Not fancy around here. Get that out of the way for now. Bring this back over. Now the recipe does not say to do this, but I feel better doing it. I made this once before, but I don't think I did it on camera. I think I just told you about it. And I said that it takes me back to my grandmom's kitchen. I can see the exact dishes she made this in. They were purple, almost tulip shaped with a gold rim. Now we're just gonna add this milk slowly. I love a good old-fashioned baked custard. Oh, the eggshells are done. Hang on a second. I figured while I had the oven on for the custard, I would bake the eggshells because the bowl was full. We bake our eggshells, just the ones that our girls lay. We save them in a bowl underneath the sink. And when the bowl gets full, I bake them at 350 for 8 minutes. And then we crush them up and feed them back to them. And it helps give them an extra boost of calcium so they have nice, beautiful, hard eggshells. Okay. The next thing we need to do is we need to strain this into a bowl and then put it into the custard cups. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to strain it yet because it doesn't tell you. I don't think cheesecloth would work, so I think I'm just going to first try a strainer, a mesh strainer, and see what we can get out of that. I think that's a good plan. I wanted to get this started early because I want it, you can eat it warm or cold, and I want to eat it cold with a dollop of whipped cream on it. Let's see if we get anything out of here. Because inevitably, you probably will have some milk solids from the bottom of the pan. You have to constantly stir that milk, but you're still going to get some milk solids, and you still might get a little bit of egg that cooked. Yeah, we do. We have some milk solids in there. I don't know if you can see that. So, good. That worked. I'm happy. I know my counter's a little bit full here. I've got bread going, or done. I've got stuff that needs to go downstairs. All in due time. And I do not have 6 of the same custard cup. That's why they're different. So we are just going to pour this in. I guess I should have looked to see how much was here. Now, in the recipe, the woman said she got 7 out of it. I'm hoping just to get 6 generous ones, but I'm not sure. It looks like I'm going to get more. But we're going to try for 6 generous ones. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, 7 probably would have been ideal, but that's okay. Okay, next step. Okay, the next step is to set the custard cups in a baking pan. Then we are going to fill the baking pan with water as high as we can get it to the level of the custard. I filled these a lot, so it may not go all the way up, but we are going to do it the best we can. I have water heating in my kettle, so I'm going to put this in the oven as is and then pour the water in, because I'm just afraid if I try to put the water in here, I'm just going to spill it. So we'll do it that way. And while we're waiting for that water to heat up, I want it nice and hot. We are just going to grate some nutmeg over the top. If you don't have fresh nutmeg, you can use ground nutmeg. But let me tell you, if you are a nutmeg fan, do yourself a favor. And if you don't have a nutmeg grater, get a nutmeg grater and some fresh nutmeg. It makes all the difference in the world. It really, really does. I almost dropped the nutmeg right in. Okay. So we are just going to pop this in the oven at 375 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to pour the water in, bake it, and then we'll check it at 30 minutes. We're going to put a thin bladed knife. I just have these little Pampered Chef knives. And make sure the knife comes out clean and that the custard is set in the middle. So we'll see it when it's done. Out of the oven, it looks nice and set. The knife was coming out clean. There's still a little jiggle, but it will continue to cook. I'm going to take it out of the water bath, or the bain-marie as it's called. Put them on a cooling rack. I had a whole lot of starter the other day. It really just did really, really well. It like quadrupled in size. So I put up on our Gibbstown Giving that if anybody wanted to start a sourdough journey but didn't want to start from scratch, I had a ton of extra starter right now. If anybody wanted any, just let me know and bring a jar. So I had a bunch of people who want it. So I have people stopping over today with a jar. I'm going to give them like 100 grams because that's a good amount to start with. And I also yesterday took a few minutes and I wrote out some sourdough starter tips in case they have never used sourdough before. Just some like hints and tricks. And I also somewhere, I don't know where it is. Oh, the recipe that I use for the bread, because it's very, very easy and beginner friendly. I printed those out. So everybody that comes to pick up some sourdough, I'll just give them that if they want it. If they don't want it, that's fine too. They might be experts in sourdough and just don't have a starter right now. I don't know, but just in case I did that, because everybody always has a million questions. As did I when I first started. And you know what? Sometimes I still do. That's why I belong to sourdough groups on Facebook. But anyway, so I'm going to go get this mess cleaned up and figure out what to do next. I think I'm going to, I thought about peeling the potatoes and putting them in water, but I think I'll wait on that. I think I'll work on my spice cabinet. I'm in the mood for some decluttering and organization. So maybe I'll do that. The new girls are adjusting nicely, and guess what? They already gave us an egg. I know. I didn't know if they would, like, yeah, I don't want to say it's trauma from them being moved, but you know, it's different. They're in a different place. There's all these other chickens around. What the heck's going on? So I honestly didn't expect them to lay probably, I was thinking 5 to 7 days, but one of them gave us one today. So that was cool. See if the other one does. So I'll go out and check eggs a little bit later. And that's about it. So I'm going to go clean this custard mess up and I'll show you when I'm organizing. Okay, we are going to tackle this closet, this cabinet today. I cleared out a few things here just to make some room. This is like our little coffee bar, tea bar. The carafe was out because it's a weekend and we brew a lot of coffee. And I moved my teapot and stuff just to make some room because the first thing we're going to do is empty out this completely. Okay, I have my boxes and a lot of the jars out. Now I'm just going to go through it and figure out what stays, what goes, what can be put down the basement because I don't really use it often. And as I come across things, like I have this whole jar of basil. This is my homegrown basil that I dried and then crushed down. I'm refilling my little jars. This is like kind of my storage. This is my working jar. So as I come across things, I'm checking my jars and refilling and restocking. Okay, definitely making some progress. I know it doesn't look like it. I'll go over everything when I'm all done. But I just brought up my spice bin. Yes, I know, it's excessive. But when you cook pretty much 3 meals from scratch, every day, you go through a lot of spices. I do date them when I get them and make sure I use them before they go out of date. That's important. Here comes Zelda to help. So we're going to get a few things refilled. I'll go over what's in all these boxes and the method to my madness. And then we'll see about rearranging and then doing that bottom spice shelf. I made new labels for the spice jars. I like them. So I'm going to work on cleaning off the spice shelves, wiping it all down and getting those back where they belong. And then that will be it with that. I have people coming over to pick up sourdough starter, and then I'm going to start on dinner. Actually, I think Doug's going to start on the potatoes for me. It's very early, but I just want to get it done. Okay, it is done. It took longer than I thought it was going to take, but thanks to that guy, it was quicker because when I was pulling jars out, he was refilling. So it is all done. We're all relabeled. Just a nice little refresh. And I have this little turny thing here for the stuff most often used. So I think it's looking pretty good. I'm very happy with it. So now I want to think about what else I can prep for dinner. And I also want to work over here. I thought I was going to want my grain mill in the corner and my books here, but I don't know. I might switch that. I had the books over on the hutch, but I don't know. I'm probably going to play with it for a while and see. So we'll have to work it out. Got the chickens in the oven and the extra stuffing in the bowl. Gonna let those cook for a few hours, and we have our quick dinner roll dough going while I'm watching Kim. Well, once again, didn't pick up the camera because things got crazy here. Dinner was late. I just had bad timing. Bad timing. The chickens took longer than I thought they were going to take. Maybe because I had 2 in there. I'm not sure. And then things just got crazy. So it was a whirlwind. And then we sat down to dinner and all that stuff. But dinner was absolutely delicious. It was very good. And we had good conversation and all that. And now we are exhausted and we are just trying to get cleaned up. Saying goodbye to this one. It makes me crazy that she's like leaving at 8:45 at night and driving 3 hours. Like, I'll worry the whole time. But anyway, that is our weekend. That is it. I know it was kind of scattered, kind of all over the place, but I'll get better, I promise. Not sure when you'll see me. Not sure about Wednesday. I'm going to try to film Wednesday on Tuesday so I get in a meeting topic, because Wednesday we're going to be going all day with chemo. So I'll see you when I see you. How's that sound? So like, comment, subscribe, share. Sorry this was kind of scattered, and see you soon.